Good morning, class. How's everybody doing? Did you have a good weekend? That is awesome. Okay, well, today we're going to talk about the life cycle of a frog. Anybody know what a frog does? What sound a frog makes? That's right, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. How does a frog get around? Does he walk? Does he crawl? What does he do? That's right, the frog hops. He hops on his two legs. Can you hop like a frog? Wow, that is awesome. Well, we're going to listen to the song Five Green and Speckled Frogs. And then after that, we got a video. We're going to talk about the life cycle and how, just like a human, the frogs, they start somewhere. They start with an egg. But we're going to listen to a song to get you guys all energized and ready to talk about the life cycle of a frog. And if you knew the song, how about just join in with us, okay? But it's called the Five Green and Speckled Frogs. On the speckled log, eating the most delicious. Yum, yum. Wonder where it was nice and cool, then there was four little speckled frogs. Four green and speckled frogs sat on the speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Then there were three green speckled frogs. Wow. Green speckled frogs sat on the speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Then there was two green speckled frogs. All right. Come on, sing. Ready? Sat on the speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Then there was one green speckled frog. One green speckled frog sat on the speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. Into the pool where it was nice and cool. Then there was no more speckled frogs. All right. Did you guys enjoy that? All right. That was good. That was called Five Green and Speckled Frogs. And again, we're going to talk about the life cycle of a frog. And have you guys ever seen any frogs? I know sometimes, like when it rains, especially after it rains, you go outside and you'll see like all kinds of frogs. I know I've seen like big green bullfrogs outside my door, and I had to like shoo them off because I didn't want those frogs to jump on me. But we're going to talk about the life cycle of a frog, okay? And I'm going to show you some pictures of the frog in the various stages of life, and then we have a quick little video that we're going to look at called the metamorphosis of a frog. And this is the first, and this is like this is the egg where the frog starts, or the embryo. That's the egg of the frog. And then after the frog, he develops into what we call a tadpole. And see, that's what the tadpole looks like right there. That is the tadpole. And then as he continues to grow, he becomes a froglet. And see, and that's a frog, and he has a little tail on it. And the last but not least, after he becomes a grown, mature frog, it turns into, the tail drops off and it becomes a big frog. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at our video showing you how the frog actually, the metamorphosis of the frog, and then when we get done, we're going to come back and we're going to look at our spelling words, or the words that go along with the frog, okay, about the life cycle of a frog. So we're going to look at this video right quick. I need everyone participating and paying attention, okay? It's only a few minutes long, but we're going to look at that, and then we'll discuss it, okay?
They not only get bigger, their whole body shape changes. Tadpoles are baby frogs that
And we'll turn the light off so you can
like fish,
see the frog, so you can see the video.
through their gills. After about 2 years, this bullfrog tadpole is finally ready to change into a frog. In a process called metamorphosis.
Remember that word. We're going to talk about that, metamorphosis.
Tiny legs appear near the tail. A front leg grows elbow first. The small mouth and eyes change. As the eyes move upward and stand out,
Wow,
the
look
frog
at
can
that.
see above water.
Oh, you hear that sound? Remember we said the frog ribbits.
And the frog can eat insects. The froglet uses up nutrients stored in its tail. Slowly the tail is absorbed into the body.
Wow.
A strong pair of legs and feet grow, good for jumping on land. The gills disappear and lungs develop, and the frog can breathe air, just like us.
Wow. Look at that frog.
Within only 10 days, the tadpole has become a frog and is ready to live mainly on land.
Wow. That is wonderful. That is awesome. 10 days. How long does it take? Do you know how long does it take a human to develop? Is it longer than 10 days? Oh, yes, it's a lot longer than 10 days. It takes a whole 9 months, so 10 days. That is awesome. Okay, now we're going to get ready to write. We're going to go over our words. We have some words that I need you guys to take out your journal, and we're going to write our life cycle words, okay? And the words that we're going to learn this week, we're going to learn the word frog. I'm going to have to move right over here a little bit. So the word frog, okay? And frog. F-R-O-G. Frog. And we're talking about the life cycle of the frog. And the next word we're going to talk about is egg. Because the frog starts from an egg. So we got egg. Okay? And then we have the word tadpole. And the tadpole is what develops after the egg. After the egg, okay? And the tadpole is also called a pollywog. And a pollywog is just another word, and that's one of our new words, pollywog. And that's also another word for tadpole. And then we have water, because the frogs live in the water. And the frogs can also live on land. Okay? Let me redo that. They can also live on land. And then the last word that we're going to look at is called metamorphosis. And metamorphosis, that's the stage that we go through. When we grow, metamorphosis means we're going to morph into something different. And that's a kind of long word. But I just want you guys to look at it and see what it looks like, okay? And that's spelled metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. All right, and those are the different words associated with the frog. We have the frog, and the frog is the mature. Then we have egg. That's where the frog starts as an egg. Then he turns into a tadpole. And then after the tadpole, he becomes a froglet. And then after the froglet, he becomes a mature frog. And do you know what type of food the frog eats? Do you know what he eats? That's right, he eats bugs. Remember the video we were looking at said 5 green speckled frogs? And they were eating the most delicious bugs. And they like to eat things like that. Do you like frogs? No, I don't like frogs either. Maybe not a real frog, a play frog, I'll pick them up. But a real frog, I don't like real frogs. Okay, but I have a handout that I want you guys to look at. And this is called The Life Cycle of the Frog. Okay? And again, and I'll give you each one of these to put in your folder that you can look at it when we do our review for our test, okay? This is called The Life Cycle of a Frog. Okay, and again, see, it starts right here. It starts with the eggs. See, it starts with the eggs. And then it goes into an embryo. And then after the embryo, it goes into the tadpole. And it says a tadpole with legs. And then we have the froglet. And finally, the adult frog. The adult frog. And can any of you hop like the frog? Can you hop like the frog and make the noises that a frog makes? All right. Yep. The frog says ribbit, 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 and it hops on fours. And wow. And when I was preparing for our lesson, I want to get some different because we only think when we think about frogs, we think about maybe one type of frog, but there's lots of different types of frogs. So I found some really pretty pictures of really colorful pictures of different types of frogs. And look what we have. We have a green tree frog. Look at that. He's so tiny you can't hardly see him because he's like right there on that big green leaf. Then we have a western cricket frog. And I didn't even know there were so many different types of frogs myself until I started looking and researching because, frogs are not one of my favorite animals, but I didn't realize there were so many. There's a camouflage frog. That means that he can hide, he can be like in the grass or anything like that, and he just kind of blends in. And then there's like the frog that we know about, the green frog. And this is a bullfrog, and a bullfrog makes a real deep noise. He's like, a real deep noise. And look, there's a red-eyed tree frog, and look how colorful that is. He's like red and green and blue. He's a very colorful frog. And then look, there's a leopard frog. We also have a wood frog, and these frogs, I think they kind of like in the trees or in the wooded area. And again, they're almost like the camouflage frog because they can blend in and you don't see them. And then here's just a picture of a tadpole and a froglet. And then we have a cricket frog, and he's a real tiny little frog. And last but not least, we have called a mink frog. And so there are all different types of frogs. And some people actually even eat frog legs. I know I don't eat them, but some people eat frog legs. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to get ready to go to the table. And I have a handout for you guys to do. What I'm going to read the questions to you. We have our frog quiz, okay? And I want you, if you have any questions, then you ask me. But I'm going to read the questions first. And this is our frog quiz. And this is just reviewing what we've already talked about. And it's the frog quiz. Our first question is, do frogs live their lives in the water, on the land, or both in water and on land? And the second question says, are frogs laid on land, frog eggs laid on land or in the water? And after a frog egg hatches, what is the animal called? Does this newly hatched animal live in land or in the water? Does the newly hatched animal have legs? Does this newly hatched animal breathe using lungs or gills? And as frogs mature, and mature means as the frog gets older, do they grow a tail, legs, or gills? And again, as frogs mature, do they lose their tail, legs, or eyes? What organs do an adult frog use to breathe? Gills, sparkles, or lungs? And does an adult frog have a tail? And if we look up here at the pictures of the frog, again, this tells you again about the life cycle of the frog, and you should be able to answer all the questions down here from the little from this part right here. And if you have any questions, I want you to feel free to ask me. Okay? Now that we've talked about the life cycle of a frog, do you guys have a little better understanding of a frog and what a frog does? Right, and I said, like I said, frogs eat bugs. I know they eat flies as well. Yeah, okay. Do you have any other questions? Okay, we do have a book. It's not about, but it is about frogs. And let me show you, because even though frogs, we have frogs that do different things. And this is a book about On the Bus. And On the Bus talks about some frogs on the bus. So let's see what these frogs are doing on the bus. And after we listen to our story, then we're going to go to the table and complete our work, okay? And this says On the Bus. It says, Leap has a map. What can he do? Where can he go? What will be new? He can jog to the park if it's not too hot. He can dig in the mud. He likes mud a lot. He can go up a hill. Can he get to the top? Will he zig and zag? Will he run, jog, and hop? He can go on a sub if that's what he wish. Put on a hat and look at the fish. If he gets in a jet, he can go very far. He can go with his dad for a trip in the car. Let's go to the zoo. It can be lots of fun. We'll see a big elephant and sit in the sun. But Tim, his pal, can he go too? And Tad and Lil and Dan, what can Leap do? Leap can get a big bus to go to the zoo. He can take all his pals. He can even take you. All right. Well, that is our story about Leap, and Leap is a frog. And because we were talking about the life cycle of a frog, I just thought I would share that story with you. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, we're going to go to the table, we're going to do our quiz, and if you have any questions, just raise your hand, and either myself or our class assistant will come and help you. You guys have been so very, very attentive. I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for your time. And now we're going to go and do our leapfrog. We're going to go do our frog quiz. And then after that, we're going to split up into our different areas, and we're going to make a frog project. And then at the end of the week, you can take all those things home that we've talked about, the life cycle of the frog, and you can show them to your mommy and daddy, and you can talk to them about what you learned about the life cycle of a frog. Okay, good job, everybody. Give yourselves a hand. Woo!